Welcome to the 2019-2020 listening session. This is the first one of 3 that we are hosting for this school year. I am Dr. Monica Goldson, Chief Executive Officer for Prince George's County Public Schools, and excited to be here. Before we begin tonight, I want to thank the principal, Ms. Marcy Holland, for inviting us into her home. This is her home away from home, and for the Oxon Hill Clippers who are in the midst of their homecoming week, and so thank you for allowing us to intrude in the space for this evening. This is what we will do every year, which is an opportunity to hear from our community members, our parents, community leaders, organizations, about ways that we can improve Prince George's County Public Schools, and it helps to inform our priorities for our upcoming budget for the 2020-2021 school year. Last school year, I had an opportunity to do the listening sessions, and there were, from each of those 3 sessions, I kept notes and then I compiled them to come up with common themes. And there were 9 areas that were gleaned from all of those listening sessions. One was on improved student achievement. And as we shared at the beginning of this school year, we've had increases at every grade level for reading English language arts, from grades 3 to grades 8 and grade 10 for English language arts. We had improvements for mathematics at middle school, but there's more work that needs to be done at grades 3 to 5 and in algebra. There were discussions about class size, and so in our budget process, we tackled doing smaller class sizes at grades K to 3. And I now even monitor the class size for grades 4 through 6 to make sure that they're not greater than 30. There were concerns about water quality. Every water fountain was replaced. There's a water fountain replaced in every building that allows students to have drinkable water. And we've placed on our own website when those installations were made, as well as changing our modifications for lead testing and looking at 5 parts per billion instead of 10 parts per billion, which is what is required and regulated. So making sure that we change that threshold because our student and staff health and safety is important to us. Facility upgrades. As you all know, we have a very aging infrastructure, 206 schools with average age of 50 years. And I'm grateful that the Board of Education approved a proposal for us to do what we're calling alternative construction financing, our public-private partnership, to build 6 new middle schools within the next 3 years. And those 6 middle schools are Walker Mill Middle School. We'll do one in the southern area, a K-8, that will combine Potomac Landing and Isaac Gordine. Kenmore Middle School, Hyattsville Middle School, a new area, a Delphi area middle school, and there is one more. It'll come to me before tonight is over. The next area that you listed needing additional support in was more accountability. And so this past school year required that all schools completed a school performance plan, identified 3 main goals and areas that they needed to focus on, and making sure that I continue to do visits in our schools unannounced, had the opportunity to visit schools today, and clearly go into classrooms to monitor instruction. In addition, we've required every department to establish measurable outcomes that are used to monitor their work and will be produced at mid-year so that our community sees where we are and at the end of the year. Promoting Prince George's County Public Schools and doing a better job marketing. And so last year I issued quarterly newsletters to our community members and to our parents and staff, and we'll continue to do those quarterly newsletters. I now also have a Twitter account to make sure that I shout out and promote those great things that are happening in our schools. And I just met with PTSA leaders on Monday from across the district and asked that they too would do the same. Comprehensive bullying program. And so we continue to work to make sure that our students feel comfortable sharing with a responsible adult when they feel that they're being bullied, and that we continue to address quickly and respond to their claims of bullying so that our students feel comfortable coming to school every day. But we've also added now a bullying app that we will be piloting on November 1 at 6 schools: Dora Kennedy, Gwynn Park Middle School, Gwynn Park High School, Mount Rainier Elementary School, Parkdale High School, and Princeton Elementary School. And that actually will allow students to have on their handheld device an app that will allow them to report bullying in real time and allow us to begin to address those concerns quickly. Once we've worked through the bugs in those 6 sites, we will then launch it to the entire school district. And the 8th area was increased parent engagement. So we have made sure that we've created at the bottom of our PGCPS webpage a parent engagement icon that you can click on that identifies individual workshops that we're encouraging community members to attend. We're having our annual Family Institute Conference, which will be here on November 2nd, and we are partnering with our county executive to host an amazing event that will allow us also to highlight community resources that parents can utilize. Some of the topics that you can experience just in the month of October and November is a Family Institute session on parents as partners, another one on warning signs for students with at-risk behaviors, and another one on help, my child is changing. I probably should attend that one myself. So, and then the last area was on transportation. And last year, that was an area that was shared with us as a concern. It still is one of concern. Honestly, it is the one area that keeps me up late at night and wakes me up in the middle of the night, wanting to make sure that we continue to make changes to improve our transportation model. When it was shared last year, we did do a request for proposals to see if we could get an external company to actually come in and help to alleviate some of the routes, which would help us to address our existing issue of late on-time arrival. And unfortunately, when that RFP came back, the company that bid for it actually asked for double the amount. It was no way that we could do that because it was not fiscally responsible. But we've worked throughout the summer to find ways to begin to address the need for more drivers. As most folks know, we have over 1,000 routes, and it is complicated and complex when we add in our specialty programs. But we're committed to continue to offer specialty programs and work daily to improve on-time arrival. Just yesterday, we had a job fair with 131 people who came out who are interested in driving our school buses, which is great. So thank you for those who are continuing to promote the need for us to get drivers. 78 of those people were interviewed yesterday, and 21 already have their CDL license. And so we will make sure that we train them, get them on buses as soon as possible, so we can begin to address the on-time arrival piece. Daily, we have approximately 100 routes that are vacant through either vacancies or some of our employees who are called in sick because they're ill. But just know that myself, along with the Chief of Operations, monitors it daily. I monitor the phone bank daily. I monitor weather almost as like I'm Al Roker now, because I don't want our kids standing at a bus stop for a long period of time. And as a parent, I understand you can't begin work until you know your children are safe at school. And so we'll continue to monitor, but just know it remains a major focus for us until we get all of our students in school. So the format for tonight, as we did last year, what will happen is that parents will have an opportunity and community members to come forward with a designated amount of time to share your concerns or recommendations of ways that we can improve to make the educational experience better for your children. I will record your responses. The most difficult part of tonight is that I do not respond. I do record because I want to make sure our community members know that I am listening. And at the conclusion of tonight, I provide a summary of every response that you said tonight. At the conclusion of all 3 sessions, I then compile a summary of everything shared, and myself, along with our executive leadership team and central office staff, begin working on ways to resolve the issues presented to us, to make sure that you know that your voice is heard and that we value everything that you've said. If you come up and you have individual concerns, just know that there are staff members here from central office who may grab you right after the session, one, to give you their card, to get your information, so that we can be responsive to your needs and address them so you don't feel like they fell on deaf ears. So we will begin the process. I'll come down and record, and then at the end of all of the comments, I'll come back up and provide a summary. Thank you again for coming tonight. I so appreciate it. And thank you for being a part of the solution in helping to make Prince George's County Public Schools so much better. And so we'll ask you to come up. We have 2 microphone stands here. And then when I call your name, just come up. I'm going to call the first 5 names. Again, you can ask your question or comment. You'll see on the screen, which unfortunately I cannot see, but I'm pretty sure it's on there, the 2-minute mark. And it is 2 minutes.
So I wasn't expecting to be first, but I guess it comes along with A as your last name. So I am a parent-teacher organization president, and I missed the meeting on Tuesday. So I was wondering how we could get information that was shared in that leadership meeting. And that's my question.
How you doing? How you doing? Good. I'm a bus driver for Fairmont Bus Lot. I've been working for 13 years. My question is any union reps in here right now? Because I wanted to talk to them.
I'm sorry, who did you say?
Union reps, any union reps?
Oh, union reps.
Yeah.
Any union representatives here? I don't see anyone.
Oh, no? Okay. Can I just ask a quick question? Yeah, my question was, as far as the prorated, I wanted to know, I think that should be optional for people that just want that. People don't, because we've been having questions about that. It's like people are mad about it. It's like messing people's money up. They don't get their full money, and I think that should be optional for people that want it. Cause I don't want it. I know I can save my own money, but I just know it's like you working 8 hours or whatever, and you don't see your full potential on your paycheck, and that's been going on for years. I never knew about probation. I was always wondering, what is that? So I'm just like, that should be optional. If people want it, let them have it. If other people want it, no. You save my own money. You save your own money. I know I can save my own money, so that's my question. As far as, it's been a wonderful, I want to say 2 months so far, 1 for 2. So everything's good, but that's the only thing I want to say.
Good evening. How are you doing, Dr. Golson? At first, I want to commend Dr. Golson for the outstanding job that she has been doing for the time that she has been the CEO of Prince George's County Schools. I have been in the county for over 47 years. I have seen the transgressions, for lack of another term, in terms of CEOs who have been in the place where you are presently. And I observe, and I just want to compliment you at this point in time to say, because you are seasoned grown, you came up in the Prince George's County school system. So I see some of the things that you have started and implementing are coming to fruition. And that's a good thing. So I ask you to continue to do what you are doing and stay on top of all of the issues within the school system. Of course, I realize you're taking on the CEO role. You inherited a lot of past, for lack of a term, garbage or whatever, that needed to be fixed. But you are working towards that end to get things done. And I certainly appreciate it, and I appreciate the county executive for selecting you as our CEO. One of the things that really is good is your weather predictions in terms of calling it and making sure that the schools are closed, and we as parents get a timely address of when the school will be closed. And I ask you just to continue doing that. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Golson. First, I would like to say thank you to you and to Central High School for the wonderful and thorough job you did in educating my son, Daniel. He graduated last May and is now successfully achieving new
and exciting endeavors at George Mason University on a scholarship. Thank you for all of it that you have done and helped to do in that endeavor. I know your time was short with him, but I trust in what you've done. Now you have my grandson Giovanni at Northview Elementary, and I am so excited for this year and what it holds for him, the possibilities, the potentials, and I love his teacher. As you know, I am active and involved in supporting our schools. However, I have to tell you, I am so frustrated right now. My experience was horrible at the fingerprinting office last week. I went to go get re-fingerprinted in order to ensure that I was protecting both Central High School and Northview Elementary, where I now intend to also volunteer since you have my grandchild. If you support my grandchild, I support you. The staff did not seem to know what my costs should be. There were 4 different versions for me. Be as that was, I filled out my application. The questions were convoluted and confusing. There were 2 I actually had to have a conversation about. The staff behind the counter, well, they need customer service training. You also need to find a way to provide better support services for those volunteers and those who are applying for jobs in our system who don't speak English as their primary language. What I witnessed last week was heartbreaking and unacceptable. I know it's not the standard that you have set for our schools, and I look forward to working with you to resolve this.
First, I want to, say thank you for your dedication to education. I am an alumni of Oxon Hill High School, class of 2004. I went to 2 schools. I went to Suitland as well, but I started at Oxon Hill 9th grade and got recruited to play football at Suitland. Then came back when one of my favorite coaches left. I'm here today because I came back home to my school and my community to serve my community as a recruiter, as my profession. I mentor. My mentoring program is the Rose Project Incorporated, and it stands for Removing Obstacles, Strongholds, and Excuses. I have been into plenty of schools in Prince George's County. I've put flyers out in Prince George's County at the school board. I've even walked into the schools and seen the flyers stacked on the desk in the office, not given out to the students at all. Excuse me. So basically what I'm saying is I want you to consider mentoring services with children, because we have access as alumni, we have access as college educated individuals to provide resources, and that's basically what I do. The number one thing that I wanted to do, I was not told that I couldn't do it, but I didn't get a phone call back or email back stating so. I want to be able to bring the senior citizen community back into the school system. They are often forgotten about, and it's the main reason that I started my organization, because my grandmother passed away from cancer, and she wanted me to do something for the kids. I always wanted to do mentoring, but that was basically her standstill on it. She wanted me to show them how I made a way. After high school, I had a hard transition. I went to 5 different schools. I was homeless at one point in time, and now I'm here to serve my community.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Deneen Johnson. I'm the president of PTSA at Central High School. I've attended these community sessions last year. I've attended a meeting with you and our principal where we visited the classrooms when we were located in Capitol Heights. I feel the commitment and dedication from you. Still, I'm concerned that our schools don't have the tools and resources to ensure our students are successful. My first question to you is, what partnerships have we established to revitalize our curriculum to bring all of our students into the 21st century? Not just having one school in the north, the south, or the central that focuses on STEM. I think kids would be excited in all grades to learn how to create an app, how to build computers, or learn about computer networks. Classes like these can cost up to $1,000 in the summer. Saying you want our students to be career and college ready is one thing, but actually providing our students the tools, curriculum, and quality of instruction is another. As a trained engineer, I'm offering my experience and knowledge in the STEM field to the county.
Good evening. Hi, first I'd like to say thank you for all you do for our students here at Prince George's County. I know this is not an easy job. So as a parent, I'm a parent of 2 children here in the county, so I'm here to support you. And tonight I have a couple of questions. And the first question is, what is the county plan in terms of moving forward with providing more mental health services in the school, in all of the schools for students? My second question is there a uniform system or policy for recruiting and hiring and retaining teachers? So for example, if there is a teacher in a building who we feel is unfit to be in the classroom, what is sort of the process or the procedure for that? And my third question is around budgeting for each school. I know that there is a fair student budget, I believe it's called, but how that is sort of determined for each school. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Vernestine Strickland, and I'm a Prince George's County Public Schools educator. I told the person at the door that if someone else had already addressed my question, that I would not need to repeat it, and I've already heard my question addressed. Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Golson. Unfortunately, last year I addressed this issue, and so today I stand here again addressing the same issue because today I have a subpoena of records on my desk, and it is heartbreaking because at this very moment I could be given inaccurate information that would affect the lifestyle of any parent that could be sitting in this office, in this area right now. And what I'm referring to is that if records are not filed, when they should be filed, then when we're doing microfilming or when we're doing archiving, we are promoting inaccurate or false reports. And so with that being said, when you're picking up behind someone else, if you're a new registrar, a new secretary, whatever it may be, the concern is that these folders are not accurate. And so it is a big concern in every school pretty much. And one of the solutions we have been talking about is maybe we should have an internship because sometimes the ratio of clericals are low due to vacancies or whatever, or it could be lack of leadership, or it could be because of work overload, that things are not being filed when they should be. And so that is not fair to the student, that is not fair to the parents. And again, when you get subpoenaed for a record that you cannot find documents or a record itself, someone's lifestyle is going to be affected. And so that is affecting me right now today because I keep addressing how the importance of records are not a high priority in the school systems. You have rooms and rooms of records, you have folders and papers all over the place that have not been filed. It needs to be addressed. We have addressed grade changing, but that is not fixing the filing issues and getting things where it's supposed to be so that we can locate stuff so that people's lifestyles does not change drastically.
Good evening, Dr. Golson. So I'm representing the PTSA of Oxon Hill High School. So happy to have you guys here tonight. So I want to give you a comment. First of all, thank you for your dedication, all that you're doing. At your past coffee event in Brandywine, I spoke to you, and I also spoke to the transportation officer, not sure if he's here, but I wanted to ask you about staying ahead of the construction that's going to occur on 210. It's really going to affect a lot of schools in this area, and being the mother of 2 boys, I really was concerned about them getting to school in a timely manner so they're not missing any instruction time. So I'm happy to report that the gentleman did take my advice, my recommendation, for making a small change just to our bus stop. And it has happened. My son said they tried it about 3 times already. And it has happened, and what it is to prevent us from crossing over 210 to come up Oxon Hill Road to get to this high school. So the recommendation was taken. It's been tried out 3 times, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you, because I wasn't sure if you guys were going to follow up, but you did, and I appreciate it, and it has made a small difference in them arriving to school on time.
Thank you for convening this session and for all that you're doing for our students. I am a retired library media specialist in the system. I came last year, and I'm back again this year to advocate for school libraries. My question is, can you please restore full-time library media positions in elementary and middle schools? As a result of the present arrangement, my grandsons who are currently in the school system have missed out on the information literacy skills that are taught from the library perspective and that are required by national and state standards. Thank you.
I'm here to address two issues. First of all, I'm an educator within the Prince George's County school system, and this is my daughter, Karis, and she's an admirer of yours, and I promised I would bring her along with me. But I have she'd like to take a picture with you. But at any rate, I have a rather serious issue to discuss. She and her siblings are scholars at Whitehall Elementary School, and we've been in the area for a couple of years now, and we started off leasing a house in that district. And so when we got ready to buy, they begged me to, please don't make us change schools. We love our schools so much. So we invested a significant amount of money in purchasing a home in the Whitehall School District. And earlier this week, we found that there's going to be rezoning, and due to the overcrowding issue, and our home is no longer considered to be in the Whitehall district. And so I promised her that she could stay at Whitehall, and I invested a significant amount of money on teacher salary to purchase a home in the district. And 3 months later to find that it's going to be rezoned, and we're going to have to be bused to a school much further away, and that we don't really qualify to remain in the district. I was just wondering if there was anything that could be done about that.
Good evening. Thank you so much for this forum. This is awesome. I don't think I've ever seen another leader of the county do this. Maybe it's been done, but I didn't know about it. But my name is Anita Brooks, as stated, and I am the parent of an 8-year-old third grader at Core Rice Elementary School, as well as the president of the parent-teacher organization. And you're welcome. And I'm here because not of my own concerns, but I see things at the school, and I see a huge substitute shortage problem that I just wanted to address. I don't really know what can be done about it, but I notice that often I might come to the school, and I'm there pretty regularly because my schedule allows that, and I'll notice that there are specials classes that are being canceled because substitutes weren't able to come in that day, or if a regular teacher is there or not able to come in, then students have to combine in other classrooms, making the classroom overcrowded and making it hard for the regular teacher to run a regular lesson because now she has to accommodate for these extra students. So that's the number one concern. And then the second one is often I see late buses either coming to the school in the morning or late buses picking the students up and taking them home. And that's an issue that I notice I've seen a lot of parents in our offices in an uproar about that. So I don't know what can be done about that or who actually needs to be called for something to get done, because I hear parents saying that they call the transportation office and don't get responses. And that's a problem that, if I was worried about my son and where he was, I would be crazy. But I walked to pick him up. But I wanted to address that for the other parents that have that issue. So thank you.
I want to say thank you for having this session. I am an educator, and my question was already addressed.
She's smiling and waving.
That's
like
because
her.
this is my former teacher.
Oh, wonderful.
Hey, Danita. So, my question kind of has been answered, of course, being on the news on Tuesday concerning my child being outside for 2 hours waiting for a bus that never showed. So, one of my questions after that, aside from the fact you talk, I know it's a detrimental issue. I do understand I am a product of the county. As I stated, I've already graduated 3. This is my last, and my grandson is now in the county. My concern is the communication. What can we do Like Danita said, we're on the phones, we're going straight to almost like voicemail. There is no communication. I will commend Ms. Sims, Ms. Taylor, and Ms. Mason at Accokeek Academy and Dr. Adams were very instrumental in keeping me, who is at Sibley Hospital, on the phone with an 11-year-old who's standing in a not so great area. I've called, I've sent emails. That was my last resort, which was something that I did not want to do. I don't want it to come to that. I'm very instrumental. I'm very active in the community, in the schools, with my children. I have been for over 21 years. My oldest is 26. I need answers. Like today, my child wanted to be here. She didn't get off the school bus until 5:35 for a school that let out at 3:55. To me, and I'm en route home, that's unacceptable. I just want answers. I want to know, who can I call? Who can I email? I have other parents who are now contacting me. They need help. We just want help. And by the way, thank you. We love you. You know that, right? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I've already given you your congratulations and thanks and appreciation. I am a parent. I have 2 children who attend Imagine Morningside, one who has ADHD, and I have another one who has autism, high functioning autism, and as a result was put into a different school by way of the county. And my question, I have 3 questions. One has already been sort of talked about, and it concerns the transportation. My son that has autism goes to a special needs school, and his bus is now at the point where it's taking sometimes 3 hours to get home. And I asked the bus driver what's going on. She says it's traffic. My son has autism, but he has high functioning autism. He's saying, Mommy, it's not the bus. It's not traffic. The kids are fighting on the bus. When I try to call and ask the phone bank, the line is busy. If the school lets out at 3:30, there's no reason why my son doesn't get home until 6:30, sometimes 6:45. Also, I want to know from him, he has autism, but I would love for him to come back to the county. When he was 5, they determined that the county could not educate him simply because he was 5, operating on a 2nd and 3rd grade level. And this wanting to keep you at your level, at your grade, was just not working for him. And he also needs a small class size. So what's being done about that? And lastly, mental health first aid. Can we get counselors certified for mental health first aid? They are the first line of defense for these kids, and if they don't recognize something is wrong, they won't even be able to receive any type of educational teaching. That's it. I was trying to be fast.
You did well. You did well. Thank you, Ms. Murray.
Thank you, Dr. Golson, for having this session. What I did to make my time very quick, I wrote my questions down, so I would like to hand it to someone. And one of the things that I want to do, I've been in this county since 1965. I have 7 children, 17 grandchildren, and I have 2 that's left in the educational system. What we want to do is help stop violence and stop the gangs, so we can help with the mindset of people, of our children. So I want to be part of that public safety. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing your concerns. Summary of tonight. Recommendations to make sure that I share what the information I provided to PTSA leaders on Monday. Make sure that for our drivers that they have an opportunity to either have their prorated salary or a straight salary so that they have options. Continue to stay on top of issues that exist in our school system for improvement. Continue to call weather predictions in a timely manner. Make sure that the fingerprinting process needs to be improved. Staff needs improved customer service training and bilingual language support. Let's make sure that we add mentoring programs for our students and to bring back seniors to assist. Concerned that schools don't have the tools in order to make sure that our students are prepared with an improved curriculum, and to identify what partnerships we've brought to our school system to enhance our curriculum. Question was asked on what the county plans to do for more mental health support for all students. Create what is our uniform policy for hiring and retaining teachers, and what do we do to support teachers who are not effective in the classroom, and next steps. How is student-based budgeting established for each school? Create a process to ensure records are updated to ensure that they're filed appropriately for future reference. Staying ahead of construction on 210 so that students can arrive on time. Advocate for more full-time library meter positions at the elementary and middle school level for all students. Concerned with the proposal presented for Whitehall Elementary School scholars to move to a different school due to overcrowding. Address the core rice substitute shortage issue that needs to be addressed. Again, continue to look at late buses in the AM and PM for core rice. Look at improved communications in our transportation office and make sure that we alert parents when our buses will be late. Address non-public transportation student behavior, which needs to be monitored. Look at what we're doing to mainstream students back into the educational environment from a non-public education site. Provide mental health first aid training for all of our professional school counselors, and continue to address and provide support and receive support to ensure that we stop violence in our schools and gang prevention. I want to thank you again for sharing your concerns. As stated earlier, we will continue to have listening sessions. We have 2 more left. I will do the same, record those comments and recommendations for improvement, and then compile areas and begin to work through each of those areas. As shared earlier, one of my staff may stop you this evening to make sure we get your name and contact so we can follow up. And as shared before, your voice does matter, and it is our goal to make sure that we address every issue possible. Thank you. Have a safe night and an amazing rest of the weekend.